Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my 1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do that, let's talk about this week's tip. I think it was last week that I was talking about rolling your own coins and trading those back into the bank because of the coin shortage. One of the things that you could do is, well, you can use the methods I use when it comes to searching money. What I will do is I will normally take 50 singles or so, and I use these as my own personal star notes, my own personal replacement notes. And what I will do is I will take a strap and I will go through this strap, and for every note that I take out of here, I will replace with one of these singles here. That way there's always 100 in this strap. After I go through it, I can just take them all back to a different bank and replace it. And I know that as long as I was given 100 bills, I will be returning 100 bills because anything I took, I replaced. Now, if you use that same technique when you're coin roll hunting, that is a great way to maintain the proper amount of coins. So you'd open your roll of coins, look through them, see if there's anything in there that you like. If you take anything out, replace it from stuff from your piggy bank or your dud pile or whatever pile you want to call it, and you're able to put those back into a new roll. So that way you don't have to sit there, open everything up, and then try to re-roll everything. You can do it all at the same time to save yourself some time in the rolling process. So that's my hint for this week. Use your coins the way I use my paper money, and hopefully we can all get through this coin shortage. All right, so what do I have this week? Here's my 1,000 in singles. Let's get those out of the way. Now, these singles came from my Vegas trip. I actually had 3,000 notes from my Vegas trip. I broke them up over into three different videos. This is the second video. These notes are from the Sahara, the Flamingo, Bellagio, the Gold Coast, Palace Station, the Orleans, the Strat, formerly the Stratosphere, and the Westgate, formerly the Vegas Hilton. So that's where all these notes came from. So let's see what I found. Start off with a birthday note. This one is a birthday note, really crisp on this one too, 1977. Of course, it's not in the right order, but as I've said in previous videos, if someone came up to me with a note that had my birthday on it in this order, I would be very happy to have that. So this one would be 1977, June 14th. June 14th, 1977. That's how that one would read. Not a true birthday note, but like I said, I'd take it and I'd be quite happy. I did find a trinary or two in here. Let's see. That's 2s, 3s, and 6s on this particular note. This one is 0s, 2s, and 7s. Not really good on that. That's pretty rough. This one's got a couple major folds in it as well. Trinary with 2s, 5s, and 7s. This one is 0s, 4s, and 8s. One off from a binary. Doesn't matter. One-offs don't count. Another one-off. 1s, 7s, and 5s on this one. Just that lone little 7 there, huh? So close. Quads on this one. Quad 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, quad 2s. Really crisp note. Quad 2s on this one as well. Not quite as nice. And quad 2s here. This one is pretty rough. But according to one of my other videos, even with this like this is a 20. You have to see the video. Check out my video with the $10 gold certificate. Quad 4s on this one. And I did get stars. Good star note here. A little bit of a crease there. This one starts off with a couple zeros, 3 zeros. In fact, if that was a number, that's 21,548. So that's got potential to be something. Put that in the pile. Another star note, 2013, tore and taped. So hopefully that's nothing. This one's also pretty rough. And yep, a lot of rough ones. I did get someone asking, how do you find bills in circulation that are nicer? Trial and error. Just keep going. You will eventually find the good stuff. It is out there. You see me pull it all the time. But I do end up with hundreds of bills every week that aren't worth saving just because of their condition. More stars there. Another star here. And another. I mean, that's the thing, because these are all from circulation. You have to expect circulated notes from circulation. Did find some older notes. This one is from 1999. Pretty good. 1995. That one's pretty tough. Another 1995. 1993. 1993s, you don't see a whole lot of those. In 1988, they had a series, and then 88A, they redid the series. Then they came out with notes in 1993. So you had two series over the span of the 5 years between 88 and 93, and then they came out with another series in 95. So there wasn't a whole lot of time for these to get printed, so you just don't see a whole lot of the 93s. Here's the 88A that I was talking about. And the oldest note, this one is in the wrong order because this is a 95. But this one was a 95 and it had an X on there. That's why I put that in the back. Now, these letters on this side where the X is, these are the rollover letters. The first letter, the B, represents the Federal Reserve. This one's New York. Once they go through 99999, which they don't. They only go to 96 million now. But once they reach 96 million, this would be an A, and that would flip to a B. Then they do another 96 million, the B flips to a C, and so on down the line. So to get to X, they had to roll this over 22 times. So yeah, that designates a pretty high number bill in the print run. So yeah, I always like seeing X's. The highest you're ever going to see is a Y. There are no O's, so if you're trying to calculate how everything works like that, don't count O as a letter. You're never going to find it there. But anyway, yeah, that's the X note there. So that's what I found this week. So what did I pull out? Well, I pulled out one of my emergency currency notes. This one is my $10 Hawaii note, one of my more recent purchases. $10 Hawaii note, this is the series of 1934A. Now you'll notice right away that it doesn't have a green seal, it has a brown seal, and it also has the words Hawaii written on the sides. Hawaii is also on the back of this note. Now this was known as emergency currency. After Japan invaded Hawaii, the U.S. decided that they were going to replace all the money on Hawaii with these emergency currency notes, just in case Japan ever invaded. That way, if Japan invaded and took over all the banks, they couldn't spend the money. We could simply have Congress pass a bill saying that any note that has a brown seal would be void and wouldn't be spendable. So that was a way to cancel all this money to protect it from getting into enemy hands. Now, the other thing this did is that it made the cities in Hawaii a lot less of a target. Why would you attack a bank if you couldn't actually have the money? Why would you go into the city if you couldn't do it? It would keep Japan targeting the military forces in Hawaii rather than targeting the civilians. So that's just another part of the emergency portion of the currency. The $10 currency, now most of the emergency notes were silver certificates. The $1 was a silver certificate. All the North Africa notes are silver certificates. But the 5, the 10, and the 20 from Hawaii, as you see right here, were Federal Reserve notes. Federal Reserve notes were simply guaranteed by the federal government, period, end of story. They weren't backed by anything. The government said this is money, and that's the stuff we use today, just because the piece of paper is what the government says it is. That's also why everybody's stacking silver and gold and watching that price skyrocket too. The $10 emergency note, you'll notice, does not have the "In God We Trust" engraving on the back. That didn't come on until, somebody said that there were some in 1935. Generally, you're going to find these on the 57s when that first comes into play. But yeah, that wasn't part of the regular circulation on these. Now the $10 note, let's take a peek in the book, see what the book has to say. Dig this out here. Emergency currency. Now there's the $1 issue, and you can see that's listed as a silver certificate right there. Silver certificate for the 1, and then $5 Federal Reserve. We're worried about the $10 Federal Reserve notes of San Francisco with the same surcharge, seals, and signatures. You can see right there, mine isn't the star. Mine would be 2303, the 1934A with Julian and Montague. They made 10 million of these notes, and they start off at about $75. They get to 100 once you get to, what would that be, 12? Yep, I'm looking at the top there. VG8 starts out the note at $75. You're talking 125 once you get it to 20, and a gem perfect one would be $1,250. So that's what the book has to say about those. So that is my $10 Federal Reserve Hawaii emergency currency note. That's what I've got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading your guys' comments, and I'll see you next week.